Right, what's up, Dragon Brew? Today we're going to be having some fun playing cards we don't normally get to see because we're playing a Gruul deck that's going small and big. We're playing Racoonosaurs. So lots of raccoons and dinosaurs. Let's get to it. So we got some burst lightning because we have ways to make mana and we can often just do this for 4 anyway. We do need a good amount of mana to get things rolling. So we do have Llanowar Werewolves, Badger Mole Cub, Keen-Eyed Curator just to deal with graveyards, but it happens to be a raccoon, so it counts for some other stuff. We do have Wandertail Mentor, so when we're playing these big things, this grows and gets extra mana at the same time, which is nice. We do have Moira Trash Tactician, which also produces extra mana. Can also get us a big chunk of life, which is nice. We have Bonehorde Dracosaur, which still happens to be a dinosaur, so it qualifies, and can get us extra cards. We have Roxanne Starfall Savant, which can get us extra damage while creating mana, which is fantastic. Now, Overlord of the Boiler Builders is not a dinosaur or a raccoon, but does fit the bill of being able to be damage on a creature, and our goal is to play lots of creatures in this deck. We get to play Trumpeting Carnosaur, which deals 3 if we discard it, but could also get something else out of our deck, which is super nice. Granted, there is a fair chance we're going to hit something small, but it is 2 cards for 6 mana, so we can't be that upset when it happens. And then we have Vaultborn Tyrant because, well, Vaultborn Tyrant is just good, and if we can ramp up to something, this is a great card to be able to draw into late in the game. Only weird thing on lands is I'm going to try 1 copy of Northampton Farm today to see if we draw it and actually does anything. I don't know that it will, but the only way we find out is if we put some in the deck. So y'all know the drill, quick business. If you're going to buy your Magic cards, please do so over at Tales of Adventures. They are supporters of the channel. And also, you can get a discount, 5% to be exact, if you use my code DRAGON. That's DRAGN over at toamagic.com. So, that aside, let's go see how many of these big dinosaurs we can cast on the back of these raccoons. Alright, Future Dragon here, and I gotta tell you something real quick. At the end of this video, we might have one of the craziest finishes to a game that we've had in a long time on this channel, so be sure to check that out. I normally don't do this and tell you to watch it, but this was such a fun finish and stressful and whatever that be sure to check that out at the end of the video so you don't miss something really fun. Anyway, back to the video. Enjoy it. This is a good one. I feel like we're kind of priced into keeping this. Also, I'm going to apologize if my voice is a little bit gone. I've been at the Hunter Burton Memorial Open all weekend. I've been talking to tons of people. Great to see some of y'all that came out, actually. We got to give away some of our new Aggro University tokens, which were really fun. So people got some diplomas. So lots of cool stuff this weekend. Raised a lot of money for the charity, which is great. I've also had this weird sniffle, though, since like Tuesday. So not even really a con crud. It sort of just hung around for several days. Ooh, is this an angel deck? If so, that makes me a little bit concerned on what I need to be leaving up here, because I don't know the answer. So what I think I'd like to do is go ahead and gamble that they don't have something that's 4 toughness next turn. Though if they do, I guess we could also just play a Trumpeting Carnosaur straight up and then still pump a Wandertail Mentor, and that's fine. One of those ones that, like, not exciting, but it does something, you know? Lots of opponents also still play sweepers in their creature decks, so I don't know if we really even want to overcommit. We might just have to get it done with what's on the battlefield for now. Though, we do have boiler bilges that is... Oh, now see, this is the type of turn that's kind of tough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to tap Wandertail Mentor if I want to do this. Because this only deals 2 damage. I can attack and see if they block, but that seems kind of silly. They're not likely to block here, so I'm just gonna shoot for 2. Let's attack. If they were to sweep the board here, we could just play land into Roxanne, so that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I do like going back to kind of previous versions and playing stuff like this where it's like, oh, my creature stack is actually my removal, and that's really fun. Guess we'll put this on Dinosaur for later, but... Alright, let's go ahead and Roxanne. So use that to shoot Giada. Then we'll use Burst Lightning to also shoot Giada. And then we'll go attacking. Good news, bad news. We have plenty of mana. If they sweep the board, we have to rebuild. However, we'll still be getting Overlord of the Boiler Bilges back at the end of next turn, so that's something. We're not really worried about Authority of the Consoles. That's fine. Resplendent Angel, also fine. So this doesn't have lifelink on its own. So if we attack, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 directly at them. Yeah, even if they block a 4-power creature. Just double checking. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 8, 9. That should do it. Yep. Yeah, can't be too mad at that. Ew, this is not great, but we're going to keep it anyway. We have plenty of mana to do some other stuff. Out of curiosity, what's y'all's favorite non-alcoholic drink? Because I just got reminded. As a matter of fact, I'm drinking some right now, but went to this little Asian spot locally. They make these great soup dumplings, but I also get a Thai milk tea every time I'm there, and it's good every single time. If you haven't had a Thai tea, you need to hunt down a spot where you can get it locally. It's super tasty. Dare I say, one of the best drinks I've ever had. Oh, you don't have anything? All right. Well, we did draw at Northampton Farm. So if they have removal, we'll get to test some things out. So this will be fun. Opponent, what are you doing over there? This is probably some type of control deck. I just got to figure out what's the best way to approach things. I'm going to take 2 here, though. And attack. I think. Yeah, why not? Alright, I don't have to pay anything to... Oh, wait. I have to pay 1 to exile a thing. Oops. Should have left that Line of War off back. Okay. Well, that's a mistake. For some reason, I was thinking I just had to tap the land, but you actually have to pay 1. This is what happens when you don't ever play with cards and you're playing with them for the first time. Can I find one of our Cavernous Souls? I think I'm only playing 2. But, oh, okay, I was thinking there's a chance we could have got hit with the Ill-Time Explosion there. But I think we need a Cavernous Souls. Because, man, I really want to Vaultborn Tyrant here. Bounce off. So you're bouncing that. We're still going to get the mana, so I'm not worried about that. We just get 1 instead of 2 off Moira when it resolves. So we get 1, 2... Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we could try to Vaultborn Tyrant. Alright. Or are they bouncing it because they believe they can counter it? That's what we have to figure out. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 in total. I mean, I guess I could just replay Moira and see what they do. Man, they have to have a counter, right? All right, where it is. Here it comes. Oh, they didn't even have one. We could have got the Vaultborn Tyrant through. Ah, dang it. Dang it. I was really I was like, man, they have to have something, right? They haven't played anything this whole game. Oh, it's an elemental pile? Is that what was going on this whole time? Oh, bruh. If so, I goofed up bad there. Vaultborn Tyrant would have been huge in this pile. Deal 2 to each creature. Okay. Let's go ahead and exile Wandertail Mentor. That actually isn't that bad. If that's all their turn is, still okay. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess we still get to do the Vaultborn Tyrant this turn. Would have loved to have done it last turn, though. But live and learn. Things happen. I mean, I think it's still the safe play because it was very set up that they had something there. Could have easily been like 3 steps ahead or some whatnot, but it actually wasn't. One more land, though. They could play that big Jeskai whatevers. Oh, Roaming Throne. That's fun. All right, what you got? Ashling, maybe? Vibrance. That's not cool. Oh, yeah, that's all they're doing. Great. That could have been much worse for us. Could have been significantly worse for us, actually. Let's go ahead. This has Ward 2, right? Yeah, okay. So we have to do this for the cheap side so that we could pay extra mana. Could have attacked first, just to see if they block, but I'm pretty sure they weren't going to anyway. Alright. Now, for some reason, they have another one next turn. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. We'd be able to pay full price and still pay 2. Opponent's at 4, though. So now our land getting to attack starts to become a real threat. Wistfulness. You get to destroy an enchantment. That's something. I mean, we also get to shoot them for 4 directly. So, do we just attempt to shoot them for 4 or also use our land here? I think we just shoot them for 4. Since they only have red mana open. And that should do it, and it does. That was so wild. The early turns of this did not look like it was going to be an elemental deck. Fortunately, we have really big creatures and a fair amount of removal that can actually fight some of their things. Otherwise, we've been a good bit of trouble. This is way too difficult of a keep. We only have one really playable card. May not even be able to cast a Curator, so we gotta let that one go. This is marginally better. Let's go ahead and just play Verge and pass. And see if we get to shoot something with the Burst Lightning. Opponent says no. Found a Llanowar Elf. That counts for something, right? I guess I could have left a land up taking some damage there so we could still shoot something, but we'll see what they do. This looks, though, like it's just a token control pile of whatever, but if so, it is what it is. Probably going to get hit with the Day of Judgment next turn. If so, that's unfortunate because our hand's kind of slow. Alright. I mean, either of the sweepers works here too. Ultima. I'd say probably not playing Ultima though if they're playing Weathermaker. Opponent figuring Day of Judgment. Go for it. Dimensional Exile. Alright, no more for us apparently. Second one. Get rid of our Llanowar Elf. No, they say 'tis fine. Continue. Alright. Now, to be fair to the opponent, they could Demolition Field here. Get a counter on their Weathermaker. Get a counter on their turn. And then just shoot Roxanne, taking the counters off their Weathermaker. But they chose not to. They can still do it on their turn, though, if they felt it was necessary. Man, this is a game I might... Well, I was going to say, even Bossing Say wouldn't be great here, actually. Alright, there's an Ugin. You got it. Yep. We are not going to beat this one, folks. It is time to pack it up effectively. Clearly gives us 2, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I guess we do this just for sport, expecting a sweeper to come down, because that's what's going to happen. Sure. Why not? I mean, opponent drew extra cards here, too. So if they sweep the board, let's just pack it up and move on. I know people are like, but you can play. You're still at 20. Nah, game's over, man. Opponent's holding multiple ways to draw cards every turn. 5 cards in hand. You know, possibly ways to deal damage with their artifacts. So I was like, come on. All right, cool. Still playing, I guess, because I didn't have a real sweeper. All right, that'll exile something. Yep, makes sense. I mean, we're still behind and going to lose this. Yeah, all right. Honestly, I'm fine just moving on. let's move on to the next game. Opponent can have this one. We don't have any real win cards from here. Yeah, Dracosaur is cute. I'll play it, but Dracosaur is likely just getting exiled next turn. But I'll do this just so people say, like, why didn't you play the card and at least find out? We'll do it so y'all... Okay, there you go. And that works. At least they have a way to kill us now. Cool. I think this is a pretty easy mulligan. We'll keep this, put one Roxanne back. Let's see what we can do with this. Oh boy, early Lana Ralph. And we did not get a burn spell. That is bad. Terra Symbiosis. Okay. Dang it. Why did we draw that here? Ah, man. And I really, really want to play a Wandertail Mentor, but I know I can't. We have to Burst Lightning this. Because if Overboard shows up, we don't have a real way to catch up and deal with it. Whereas if we wait, we can play Wandertail Mentor next turn. Overboard shows up, then we can play Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. Oh, it looks like they didn't even have land anyway. Oh. Well. Sometimes things just fall like that. Let's go ahead and see if they have a protective spell. They don't. Alright. So we've at least gotten ahead on mana now. Despite them having a turn 1 Llanowar Elf. I think the perfect scenario would be them to draw another Elf/Pollinator, whatever, and we get an untapped land for Roxanne. That'd be ideally what we'd be looking for. Earthbender Ascension. Alright, so this looks like typical green aggro with cards we haven't seen hit the battlefield, obviously, like Badger Mole Cub and such. But they did get to draw cards there, which has real value. What's funny is, I don't know if I should target their land or not. It puts another counter on their Ascension. But means if they do get a Badger Mole Cub, they have less mana. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. I hate triggering the Ascension, but it is what it is. We do have, if necessary, access to 6 damage next turn, too. Between the Overlord and the Roxanne. And against this type of deck, there's a good chance we'll have access to 6 every turn when we attack for 4 and create another token. So as long as they don't play anything ridiculous, we should be okay. Granted, though, once they start being able to put +1/+1s on creatures, things are going to get a little bit tough. Alright, so they did have the Badger Mole. So good call on killing the land, I guess. This is probably an Ouroboros turn, though. So our Overlord's going to have a job to do. It also means we may have to sacrifice... Ooh, we didn't have to... I was about to say we may have to sacrifice Roxanne in combat, but that appears to not be the case. So very interesting. All right. This is why it sucks when you have the Ascensions already having counters and pumping up stuff. It gets harder and harder to remove things. Because probably starting next turn, every creature is going to be able to get +2/+2, you know, with a landfall trigger every turn. So we're going to have to concentrate all of our burn damage, or all of our damage from Roxanne and Overlord onto a single target each turn. Okay, Vaultborn Tyrant. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could, but let's just not get too fancy here. Let's do what we have to do. Target a forest with the Overlord of the Boiler Bilges trigger. Also, while opponents thinking, if you haven't gotten your Aggro U merch, you should. There's a link down below. We have a bunch of cool stuff. You should check it out. If nothing else, just check it out for me so YouTube knows you're checking out the links. And if you see something cool, if I see you at a show, you might get an Aggro University token. And that would be great. All right, opponent. I think I'm just going to shoot you for 2. And they could block Roxanne. I don't know what we do next turn. It's going to get real tough. We have access to a lot of mana, though. I mean, if we could find maybe Bonehorde Dracosaur and come over the top, that would be pretty handy. Yep, there's your board, which we knew was somewhere waiting. And one of those 5 cards is probably a land. If I were to hazard a guess. Yep, that's exactly what I was afraid of. Darn it. So now we're going to have a hard time getting rid of Ouroboros. Yep, everything's going to get +2. 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here's what we're probably going to have to do. Assuming there's nothing else, but there probably is something else. We could play Vaultborn Tyrant, attack with everything, let the 2 creature triggers remove Ouroboros, because it'd be 6 exactly, at least as things stand. I don't know what we do after that, though. That's the problem. We could send the damage upstairs, and then the opponent goes to 4, and I guess we could find... If we draw an Overlord of the Boiler Bilges, obviously that's what we'll do. We'll just attack, deal 6 to the opponent, deal 4 to the opponent. If not, we have to figure out another game plan here. Though, I guess if we take out Ouroboros, then the opponent probably blocks Wandertail with a big Badger Mole, blocks Roxanne with the Forest. Okay, yeah, that does actually bother us a bit here. So now that means we can't attack the way we wanted to. Unless we find an untapped land, possibly. Okay, interesting they didn't play that pre-combat. I would have thought that would have been the play. So we have to do this before combat so that we can use the extra mana from Roxanne. Because I'm assuming Roxanne will not survive this combat. I think that's a fair assessment. And then we just put the onus on the opponent to say, all right, you figure out what you want to block, but we have to get Ouroboros out of here. And they still have 4 cards. Man, how I would have loved for that to have been an Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. Or that card to be an Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. It would make this combat so much easier. I get to shoot the opponent and then be done. But I think this is what we're going to do. Get rid of Ouroboros. Let the opponent decide what the best play is from here. I would think Badger Mole trades for something here. Probably the Boiler Bilges. The Forest probably gets rid of Roxanne. They take 5. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to block everything. And then just keep Badger Mole. That is a little bit of a surprise. But not one I'm terribly mad at, let me tell you. The reason is that they now have 1 less blocker because we kept basically all our attackers. We also have a land we can activate with the Vaultborn Tyrant with tramples. We could find a damage spell or creature, which could be good. So there's a lot going on here. Also, since Vaultborn Tyrant tramples, depending on how they block, if we find something that could deal damage, blah, 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 there's lots of little things going on here. Opponent has a lot of mana, though. Oh, so they're just searching. I wonder if they're just going to go get Ouroboros. Nope, they went and got Ba Sing Se to just make a big Badger Mole here. Still have access to 4 mana. But they didn't play a creature first to move the counters. So that's a very interesting thing. Maybe they were digging for a card there. I don't know. Another Terra Symbiosis. That's really good for us. Yeah, you can have a giant... Badger Mole can be as big as it wants to here. That is not a concern for us. The only decision I'll have to make now during combat is, do we deal 4... Well, now Badger Mole's 11, so it doesn't matter. That's off the table. If it was 10, it would be, do I want to deal damage to Badger Mole or not, just in case they have something. But here, I don't think it matters greatly. Badger Mole. Activate a land, tap land, and artifacts to attack with our creature land and our 3 creatures, shoot the opponent for 5, and make them figure it out. Did I need to do it? Yeah, I guess I did need to do that. All right. I'm going for it. I mean, if they can gain life, fight a creature, whatever, you got us. But us fighting through Badger Mole, Ouroboros, 2 Ascensions, like kind of a crazy game. I'm gonna pump. Yeah, opponent's just... Oh, wait, no. That's to deal the damage. I was thinking this. Yeah, that'll work. Opponent's saying GG's, but I just want to make sure. Could have put it on the Vaultborn Tyrant, but if they have some weird instant speed fight spell, they'll just do it on the Vaultborn Tyrant here. They only have 2 mana, so I'm pretty sure we're good. Because I feel like they would need 3+ to be able to stay alive here. But man, these extra artifacts from Roxanne did a lot of work this game. These little meteorites have held the fort together. All right. Wandertail Mentor's just getting blocked. Sounds good. Wow. Wow. Yeah, no lies. That was really tough. Man, well, I was really concerned once these Earthbender Ascensions started moving that things could have slipped away from us. But we used almost every card we drew to get there. All right, this is a pretty easy keep. I feel like this has been one of the easier mulligans we've actually had so far this video. Now the question is, do we play Badger Mole next? Nah, we play Moira next turn. I think is the plan here. Play Moira. Mostly because Moira is a 2/4, and it'll survive most of the burn spells that the Izzet decks are going to play. And then that unlocks, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. If we can draw an untapped land, that unlocks Roxanne, which is strong. Oh, well, it's not that deck at all. So let's get red. But since we know now what's going on, plan has changed. Actually, no, we still play Roxanne because we just dealt 2 to the robot. Also, I've been seeing, I guess YouTube's been sharing around the videos we showed from the beginning of the season of cards to craft or not craft early in the season. And there's people like, how can he put Krang on a list, whatever. The blue Krang, while it's neat in this type of deck we're playing against, actually isn't the end-all be-all, and honestly, we haven't seen that card show up in any competitive list anywhere yet so far. So while I do think it maybe in the future is a cool card, it's not really doing much right now. This is a strong start for us. Yeah, unless the opponent is playing ill-timed explosions for 5+, which I don't think they are in that deck. Unless they want to discard a Krang. We're in good shape. Actually, we could just shoot the opponent with Burst Lightnings even. Yeah, even this artifact deck, I'm only running into it once every few days now. Not even really per session anymore. I think there's still room. I think this deck could still do something. I just don't know if the right build exists yet or if we've, as a community, haven't found the right one. But Krang really isn't holding up speed-wise to a lot of other things going on in the format. Like, even here, if the... Like, when does the opponent play Krang? Like, we killed the 2-mana thing, we killed the 3-mana thing, which a lot of decks can do, not just my deck. And then you're still holding Krang, right? Because you almost always have to have at least 4 artifacts. You almost need Ravenous Robots to live, play 1 or 2 things, then you get Krang, draw 4 cards, do your whole thing, right? That's why he made the list. And you have to play it in a very specific deck. It's not like you can put it in 3, 4, 5 decks. So if I'm telling people how to spend resources early, and a thing is underperforming, and it only goes in 1 deck, that's what makes it viable for that list. But I'm not telling you not to play Krang. If you got a cool deck or you like playing the card, play it. Short cards, of course. Play the decks you like to play and the cards you like to play. Okay, we do have 2 green sources, so I'm okay with this. We have to be careful what order we play our lands. And I guess technically we have a 3 mana removal spell. So, I mean, we have stuff. Don't know how good stuff is going to be, but we do have stuff. See, now we have a problem because we actually don't want to play Keen-Eyed Curator. We want to play Curator when we can actually use it. So I'm hoping we find one of our 2 mana things here. And we didn't. We found Moira. So we're kind of forced into a bad spot here if we want to be mana efficient. I think we just have to play Curator, hope they don't have the removal spell. If they do, we're up the creek. Alright, they didn't have it. So that's the good news. We need to draw some untapped lands, though, so that we can remove things and then play Moira and still have mana up the following turn. Whereas we're not going to get a lot done here. Okay, there's a seam rip. And that's what we were afraid of. We kind of knew. Not a lot you can do under the circumstances. We just got a bad draw and it didn't pan out. So now we're going to need a lot of help. And what's funny is, this is another deck that's kind of an example where it doesn't show up in any big tournaments, but it shows up on the ladder. I run into this about once every... actually, probably almost once a session. Not quite. At least once every other session. Opponent's playing a lot of removal in this version, too. At least we got to 5 lands, even if we don't have Moira, so that's nice. Alright, I'm just going to go big here. Save our damagey things, so we can have those later. And just say, if you got a Dracosaur, bring it, I guess, if you have some way to get rid of it. Banishing Lights and Seam Rips. Wow. Okay. Alright, you got it. There's no Lord of the Belmark. Yard is getting fat. Alright, they got a Fenrir, which can search out a land next turn, but we'll now start getting some value here, so this is good. They are 1 turn away from flipping an Overlord of the Belmark. Okay, what can we do with this? Are we willing to risk just playing another Dracosaur? I mean, we're tagging for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 next turn. I think I'm just going to play Carnosaur here. I think that's it. That feels crazy to do. But I'm going to do it anyway. And just say, if you get the card you need, you get a Day of Judgment, whatever, you got me. Well, we're going to put this in hand, actually. In case Day of Judgment or something shows up, then next turn we can play this and just start wiping things out of their graveyard. And then that should allow us to start putting things away. Unless they've been holding Seam Rips because they don't target our stuff, which would make a lot of sense. Alright, they found another Banishing Light, I guess. Burst Lightning. Oh, that's interesting. Does Burst Lightning do anything here? Like, maybe? Opponent blocks 3, takes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? 11. So that's not going to do it. I'm just trying to look like, where can we get extra damage? There's not a lot of extra damage to be had. So let's at least play the land. Okay. Opponent's conceding. Yeah, my assumption was just going to be attack. I was just going to play Keen-Eyed Curator. Pre-combat, really. And I was just going to remove every relevant card in their graveyard. Right? Just all the creatures. Just get rid of them so there's nothing to reanimate. If they do end up sweeping the board or doing something here, Then we just play a Dracosaur and or Roxanne next turn and go for it. But with them only having, I guess, what looks to be 3 things in the graveyard, basically that's 5 mana we'd be spending on Curator. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have 3 left. We would attack them for 5, 8. They'd be at 5. We could almost just finish them with Burst Lightning and then next turn Roxanne. So I guess we didn't have to do any of that, honestly. A little bit of overthinking there, but it's worth it. Okay, we'll keep this. This is a hand that's probably most susceptible to being disrupted, right? We don't have anything early. This is one where we probably try the Badger Mole. Nah, I think we're still going to try to Wandertail Mentor him too. Oh, even more so now against this deck. The only good news is, if we can line things up right, there could be a chance for us to remove the creatures before they get protection, but they obviously have the protection spell up because they're choosing not to do anything right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just play Wandertail Mentor. They probably have either Seam Rip or Sheltered, and I think that's okay. We hopefully are going to draw another. Wandertail Mentor won't survive the turn, so it's just, do we have another 2 mana thing next turn to take advantage of with Badger Mole Cub? That's sort of what we're looking for here. And we also need their creatures to not get bigger than 4 toughness, right? Because that also makes it hard to remove them. So we have a lot to consider right now. Torch the Tower could be good too. So you can target something, they can protect it, and you can follow up with a damage spell. But we need a lot to go right from here, y'all. Starting to look pretty rough. But this is what happens. Like I said in the opener, it was a hand that was very susceptible to disruption, and now we're seeing the other side of that, right? Interesting that they're only attacking with the Veteran Survivor. Because I feel like if they had the instant speed enchantment to put counters, they could turn Scavenger into a 3/3. I think they're saving it just on defense. I think they have it. Maybe I'm supposed to block there and make them use it, actually. Yeah, I think that's a mistake. I think I'm supposed to give up Badger Mole Cub there. Yeah, this is a tough spot, because I got to take 2 to play Roxanne, knowing they're going to save whatever I target, right? So the plan is probably target Scavenger. So so nothing's getting too big too fast. Yeah, we knew that was coming, so we're not surprised by that part. No attacks. So now it's just, do they have another one, right? Nope, looks like Shelter incoming. Yep, that's the bad news. Now, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. And they're still only attacking, so they don't have anything else. So we take that. That would be 8, and then we'd be susceptible to just dying, right? So we have to block. What will that leave us with? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What can we do with 5 versus 6 next turn? Not much difference, actually. We could Moira and Wandertail Mentor, which gains us a little bit of life. I mean, I don't know. We're not dead, so there's that, right? Like, you gotta gotta look at the bright side. So let's Moira. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Play Overlord of the Boiler Bilges. Does that do anything? I'm just like, does it do anything is the question. I don't think it does enough. So let's go ahead and Moira here. Play Wandertail Mentor. Gain us some life. No attacks. We can technically block Survivor. The land comes back. We would then be able to Gain life with Vaultborn Tyrant. That's not going to be enough, though. Yeah, now that's at 5, I don't think we have a real out. It's going to be very disappointing for us. This might be our last turn. Because we go to 3, we can get to 7. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Because they can put a counter on, and that's 2. Is there a way? I'm trying to think like what we could get here that would matter. Oh, no, wait. We do get 4 life off Moira, too, though. So that's a thing. And we could get rid of Spellbook Vendors, so they wouldn't have easy mana. Maybe. No, because we only have 2 mana left if we do that. But, here's the thing that happens, right? We trigger both our cards. We get 4, go to 7. We could play Llanowar. That then triggers Moira to get an extra card for next turn. Alright, Overlord. You're kind of a thing. 6, 7, 8. Oh, no, they can't put another counter on it, actually. Alright, no attacks. No, they found another enchantment. Gosh dang it. We were so close. They can't put another one on it because it already has one. So they have to put it on something else. Which is fine. Alright, we go to 1. Now the bad part is the best we could do is gain... No, we could technically gain 12 next turn. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nah, we're going to be a mana short. Actually, no, we have 10, 11, 12, actually. And then, so we gain 12, we gain 14? No, 16? Wow, Moira's really working here. Let's go... 6 mana. Trigger our stuff. Gain life, get a card. Get rid of Spellbook Vendor, I guess. Oh, another Vaultborn Tyrant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do we have 7 exactly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. Okay. Okay. So we would gain 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we go to 19? All right. And we get 2 cards. I mean, we're trying. We're still in this for the time being, right? Attack for 6. We still have 3 blockers back. I mean, the problem is, even if we survive, opponents still got a lot of life, right? Like, that's the other... And they're about to have double strike. So I don't think we overcome that. But we made a valiant fight out of this. If nothing else. Alright, they'll have something on top. I don't think it matters. We can't gain enough, I don't think. But we have a lot of damage coming this turn. Oh, and a Burst Lightning. Hold on, folks. Maybe we can get there. Maybe. Alright, how much mana do we have first? We have access to 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we could... That's 5, that's 6, that's 11. We still have 2 left. And we get to draw. Alright. Go Roxanne first. This also gets us 8 life. Problem is, we can get to 16? Oh, no, actually, it gets us 3. No. Yeah, we're not going to have quite enough, I don't think. Yeah, they can save a card, but, like, they're going to put the counters on the Wander. Yeah, that was the concern. And I don't think... Oh, you know what? Maybe I was supposed to respond with the Burst Lightning. Yeah, I goofed up. Because I could have kept the counter off of it. Because now I don't think we have enough. Badgermole, do you do anything? This is also a real question. I don't think so. Play the land, because we're going to lose that anyway. If we play this, we have access to a ton of mana that way. How much red mana do I need here? There are so many things happening right now, y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure out so many things right now. That would leave us with 2, 4, 5, 6. All right, sure. Those don't help. That doesn't help. But life does matter here. We got over 20. We got over 22. So if they find another enchantment, we lose. If they don't, we're still playing Magic. Keen-Eyed Curator. Maybe you're something. I don't know. Yeah, attack. That's kind of all we can do. I mean, we're at 25. I mean, I did everything we could do here, man. All right. If they get there, they get here. Do you have 2 enchantments? Or just 2 counters, basically? First one is Feather Flight. That's probably going to do it. Yep. That's going to give them exactly enough. Because they can get to 26 here now. Yep. That's a land. And oh, did they not have it? That's 24. That is their life gaining too here, though. Oh, we're at 1. Okay, okay. Here's the thing, though. Now we can possibly just kill this creature. Hold up. This is big. First off, how much damage can we outright do? We have 5, 6, 7. Plus 12 is 19. 20, 21, 22. And 10 is 32. And 6 is 38. And another 10 is 48. And we can target this to get rid of it. I think we can just win from here. All right, let's start here. We're going to target the Scavenger. Because if this goes away, we just win. And everything else is mute. Yep. We just attack with everything. And we target the opponent with these. You know what? Yeah, it's fine. Opponent, you just take it. If you got it, you get us. I don't know what they could possibly have here, but this is the craziest comeback if this is legit. Did we do it? I am the greatest. If y'all have not subscribed, y'all need to now. On this channel, we have so many sick games against life gain decks. This might be the sickest that's ever happened on this channel. Like, somehow, this thing survived since turn 3, I'm pretty sure, getting stacked up, attacking for progressively more damage. Somehow, we were able to pull it off with these Vaultborn Tyrants gaining an insane amount of life. Wow. Wow, I'm sorry that took so long. I was just trying not to mess that up because we had so many options there. That is sick. Now, admittedly, from this point, I think once we start gaining life and drawing cards, the opponent was not going to be able to beat us anyway, because just single damage and we'd have been gaining so much. But man, that is out. And we still had more damage left. That's the crazy part. We still had Burst Lightning. We could have attacked with the Ridgeline. Like, oh my gosh. You know what? Let's wrap things up, because it ain't going to get better than that. Yeah, so this was actually pretty fun. I mean, we'd played something like this in the past. And this actually kind of worked out here. We didn't get to see Northampton Farm, I think, except for in one game, maybe. And we only got to do a little bit with it. So, I don't know how important it is or not. But it's a interesting card to play. Now, something I will say is, if there's a concern about the control decks, I think this deck could get away with another Cavern of Souls. So, if you wanted to cut a forest to play a third Cavern, I think it's possible. Because almost everything is a creature. A large chunk of them are either dinosaurs or raccoons. Now, there are a few situations where if you drew Cavern of Souls early, you're going to have to put it on Elf or put it on Badger Mole or something. So that would suck. But I think it could be worth the risk. Matter of fact, if I was going to do it, I'd probably change a red land, now that I'm thinking about it, not a green one. Because you're more likely going to need green mana more in the early turns. Occasionally there will be times you need it to play a Burst Lightning or whatever, but we still have 8, 10, 11, 12. So that's not bad, especially if one ends up on Dinosaur. You really only need double red for Overlord. And you can even get that from Wera and Wandertail Mentor if you just have 1 red. So feel free to mess around with the mana how you want. Like I said, we can still go minus, play 6, put this up. I don't know. You still have Thornspire Verge, which makes red. So I don't know. Variety of ways you could build the mana, I think, if you wanted to do this. But yeah, the cool part about this deck is it's mostly old cards, right? These, I don't even know what the newest thing is we're playing in here. Is it from like a year ago? Like Thunder Junction, maybe, is the newest card in here. So nothing in here is even remotely new that you have to worry about. Oh, that's not true. Ba Sing Se came out at the end last year, and we're playing Northampton Farm. But realistically, Ba Sing Se goes into a ton of different lists with green right now, so if you craft that, you're probably still okay to use that in other lists. But yeah, this was surprisingly good. I think we lost either 2 or 3 games playing this, so nothing bad about that. I think it's one of those ones where, and you kind of saw that toward the end, you get into these weird situations where you do start having to think about a lot of things, right? Because there's damage from Wera, there's extra mana from Wera, damage from Roxanne, damage from the Overlord. You could potentially be getting cards from Dracosaur. Do you want to save the Carnosaur to deal damage, or just try to roll into either a Bonehorde Dracosaur or a Roxanne if you get lucky, right? You saw games where we had to decide, do we want to play Badgermole early, or do we want to play Wandertail Mentor? So I would play some games in the play queue first to get used to the decision making with this, and then go hop into the ladder if you want to give it a go if you're not used to playing decks like this. But the list will be over on Moxfield for you like always, and you should be checking them out, posting your stuff there. Our other decks are there if you want to take a look. But that's all I have you for now. We'll see you next time.